Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into everything surrounding the recent RSA conference 2025.
Yeah, RSAC. There's always so much that comes out of it.
Totally. We've got news articles, press releases, even the official RSA recap. Our mission here is to sort of cut through all that noise.
Get to the core insights.
Exactly. Particularly around, well, AI and trust. Those were huge themes.
Yeah,
And also a company called Genians. They seem to be everywhere.
they definitely had a significant presence.
Well,
So yeah, think of this as your shortcut to what really mattered there. We'll look closely at Genians' cybersecurity company.
right.
We need to break down their whole zero trust approach, key partnerships, especially one with a company called Ramen Inc.,
Okay.
plus their financials, which were quite interesting, and their overall message at the conference.
And then, yeah, we need to zoom out. Look at that bigger picture.
Yeah.
AI and trust, like you said, they were just unavoidable topics at RSAC this year.
Definitely. You saw it in the keynotes. People like Bruce Schneier, Magic Johnson even.
Right. Okay, let's dive in. Maybe start with that Genians and Ramen partnership. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. So the announcement itself, it dropped on April 14th, 2025.
Okay, just before the conference then.
Seems like it. And the main goal, it's pretty ambitious. An AI-powered platform that converges network and security stuff.
Converged network and security.
So specifically targeting Industry 4.0. So think smart factories, that kind of thing.
Got it. And how are they doing that?
Well, the core idea is integrating Genian's NAC-driven zero trust, NAC being network access control,
Right.
with Ramen's intelligent network as a service, their NAS platform.
Okay, Naz, so what does this mean for you, the listener? What's the actual impact here?
Well, the promise is secure, but also simplified connectivity across everything your standard IT offices, but also those OT environments.
Operational technology, the factories, warehouses,
Exactly. And cloud environments, too. It's about making it all work together securely.
a single pane of glass, sort of.
That seems to be the direction. And they listed some key features, one they called Zero Downtime by Design.
Okay, how?
It combines Genian's non-disruptive device sensing, so it doesn't interrupt operations, with Ramen's AI for orchestration. Keep things running smoothly.
Interesting. What else?
AI-driven analytics and contextual intelligence sharing. That sounds like a mouthful, but
Yeah.
it basically fuses Ramen's AI smarts with Genian's deep device knowledge, their device platform intelligence, or DPI.
DPI? Okay, we'll probably come back to that.
Definitely. They also talked about AI-powered secure wireless infrastructure, supporting the latest Wi-Fi like 6E and 7, plus private 4G, 5G, even millimeter wave.
Wow, so really covering all the modern wireless bases.
Seems like it. And then there's dynamic segmentation and multi-layered enforcement, using behavior analytics for zero trust controls that adapt in real time.
That sounds powerful, but maybe complex to manage.
Potentially, but they also highlighted agentless AI-based monitoring, continuous device discovery without needing agents on every single endpoint.
Ah, that's a big plus, especially in OT or IoT-heavy
It's
places.
a huge advantage, yeah. And for compliance, they're pitching automated compliance and self-healing operations. AI agents helping with standards like ISO 27000, HIPAA, GDPR.
So potentially making audits and compliance checks much easier.
That's the idea. Reducing that burden for IT, SecOps, and OT teams. They even mention conversational AI interfaces to help take action faster.
Like chatting with your security platform.
Kind of, yeah. We got quotes, too. Prashant Kumar, Ramen's COO, called it a pivotal advancement, and Kayan Kim, Genian CTO, stressed their 20 years of experience.
Experience counts in security. Did they show this off at RSAC?
He did.
Yeah.
Had live demos at their booth, South Expo, #342. So if you were there.
You could see it in action.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. You mentioned their financials were interesting.
Yeah, they put out an announcement earlier, back in February 21st. And the numbers for 2024 were pretty strong.
How strong?
Operating profit hit $6.8 million. That's up over 52% year over year.
Wow, okay.
Revenue was $34.5 million, up almost 16%. And net income jumped nearly 75% to $7.5 million.
That's some serious growth.
It is. But maybe the most striking thing was they highlighted 20 consecutive years of profitability.
20 years in cybersecurity. That's actually kind of incredible, isn't it?
It really stands out. Speaks to a sustainable business model, you know.
For sure. Did they connect this to specific products?
They mentioned the expansion of their universal ZTNA solution, that's their Zero Trust Network Access, designed for secure access everywhere, on-prem, remote, cloud, hybrid.
So that fits the RSAC message.
Exactly. And this financial stability probably gives them the confidence and resources for things like that Ramen partnership.
Makes sense. Anything else in that announcement?
They mentioned involvement in some government projects, a $3 million cybersecurity initiative in the Middle East, and a zero trust pilot program in South Korea.
Okay, so getting government validation too.
Seems like it. And they also talked up their EDR solution, endpoint detection and response.
Right, EDR. What's special about theirs?
They emphasize behavior-based detection. They call it XBA. Looks like extended behavior analytics or something similar to catch trickier threats like fileless malware, plus anti-ransomware features.
And is it popular?
They said they have over 200 customers already, including finance and government. So yeah, gaining traction. Their CEO, Dongbum Lee, basically put it down to strategic growth and focusing on the customer.
Which seems to be working based on those numbers.
Right.
Okay, so that's the backdrop. Now let's focus on what Genians actually did and said at RSAC 2025 itself.
Right, so their main theme was zero trust in action.
Okay.
And the tagline, or maybe reinforcing message, was compliant first, secure access everywhere.
Compliant first. That's interesting. Security often comes first. Compliance feels like the follow-up.
Yeah, it's a potentially different framing. And a really key point they kept hammering home was the importance of data quality for AI in cybersecurity.
Ah, back to the data. So AI is only as good as the data it gets.
Precisely. You hear it all the time, but they really leaned into it. They highlighted their 20 years of building what they call trusted network intelligence,
Right.
primarily through their device platform intelligence, that DPI thing again.
Right, the DPI.
Their argument is basically, we've been collecting and refining this device data for 2 decades, so our AI has a really solid, trustworthy foundation to work from.
That makes sense. So what is this device platform intelligence exactly? What does it give you?
According to them, it's about actionable context for every single thing on your network.
Like what kind of context?
Detailed device classification. What is this thing? Is it a printer, a laptop, an IoT sensor? Also, end of life or end of support status.
Oh, that's useful. Knowing what's about to become unsupported.
Hugely useful.
Yeah.
And vulnerability information, CVEs associated with that specific device type or software version.
Okay, so it paints a pretty detailed picture of each device's risk profile.
Exactly, and they pitched this as especially beneficial for MSPs and MSSPs managed service providers. Helps them proactively spot risks and apply smarter policies.
Got it. So this DPI is one part of their platform.
It's pillar number 1 of their Zero Trust Access platform. They broke it down into 4 core parts.
Okay, what are the others?
Pillar 2 is Genian NAC, their network access control. They mentioned it's layer 2 based, agentless, does dynamic policy enforcement, and can automatically isolate dodgy devices.
Standard NAC features, but integrated, presumably.
Right. Pillar 3 is Genians ZTNA, the universal zero trust network access we talked about. Builds on the NEC foundation.
Okay.
Extends secure access beyond the network edge, uses compliance rules for policies, and crucially, they say it can be deployed standalone. You don't necessarily need a full SASE architecture.
Ah, that offers flexibility. And pillar 4.
Genian EDR. The endpoint detection and response solution we mentioned earlier, they actually claim it's the #1 EDR in South Korea.
Interesting claim.
Yeah. Focuses on behavior-based detection, anti-ransomware, flexible deployment on-prem or cloud, which matters for data sovereignty. They also mentioned a hot-warm architecture for scalability and an available MDR service-managed detection and response.
So a pretty complete stack. Intelligence, access control, remote access, and endpoint security.
That's the picture they painted, and they kept linking it back to the Ramen partnership.
Right, the Industry 4.0 angle.
Exactly. Saying this integrated platform secures both the carpeted office spaces and the uncarpeted industrial environments.
Carpeted and uncarpeted. I like that distinction.
Yeah. And Ramen's CEO, Partho Mishra, was quoted emphasizing how critical security is in those OT uncarpeted areas, which are often overlooked.
Definitely sounds like a cohesive message they were pushing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's broaden the lens now. What about RSAC 2025 overall? What were the big themes beyond Genians?
Well, the official recap called it the biggest and best ever. Lots of emphasis on community spirit.
You hear that a lot after big conferences, but was it palpable?
It seems so. They highlighted the global reach speakers from 32 countries, attendees from 128.
Wow, that's truly global.
Yeah, and the takeaway seemed to be that this diversity leads to better problem solving, fostering respect and collaboration.
Which is crucial in cybersecurity, given the global nature of threats.
Absolutely. They also made a big deal about the 20th anniversary of the Innovation Sandbox competition, the ISB.
Ah, yes, the startup competition. Always interesting.
Very influential. They recognized its impact over 2 decades and apparently called this year's group of finalists the best group ever. High praise.
Always good to see innovation getting highlighted.
Definitely. And showing cybersecurity's mainstream importance, the New York Stock Exchange actually held its opening bell ceremony at RSAC.
Really? Wow. That's quite a statement.
Isn't it? Signals how vital cybersecurity is to the economy, to the markets.
No question. Any other notable initiatives?
They launched something called the Founder Circle. It brings together past top 10 finalists from the Innovation Sandbox.
Oh, that's smart. Fostering connections between those innovators.
Yeah, building that ongoing network. And the expo floor itself was huge, over 600 exhibitors, everything from the big established players to tiny startups.
It's a snapshot of the entire industry, basically.
Pretty much. One interesting addition was a new track focused on protecting home and family.
Oh, personal cybersecurity. That's needed.
Yeah, addressing that side of things. And they said that content is available in the RSAC library now, which is great.
Good resource.
They also launched an RSAC community platform, trying to make it more of a year-round engagement thing, not just the annual conference.
Trying to keep the conversation going. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about content? Any specific tracks stand out?
Apparently, the Security Foundations track was still really popular, even with experts.
Huh. Shows the importance of fundamentals, I guess.
Always important to revisit the basics, right?
Yeah.
And the DARPA AI experience got mentioned as being quite impactful.
DARPA? What was that about?
Sounds like it demonstrated potential threats to AI-powered infrastructure. A reminder that AI isn't just a tool for defense, it's also a target.
It's a sobering thought. And the keynotes. We mentioned Schneier and Magic Johnson.
Right. Bruce Schneier talked AI, security, and trust. He was pretty critical, framing trust itself as an attack surface, skeptical about current AI security and blockchain too.
Classic Schneier, challenging assumptions.
Exactly. And then you had Magic Johnson with the art of the assist. Totally different vibe. Leadership, authenticity, building trust as a personal brand, doing your own SWOT analysis.
Fascinating contrast. Security skepticism versus personal leadership and trust.
Right. But some analyses pointed out a kind of resonance. Schneier saying demand trust from systems, Magic saying demand trust from yourself.
Interesting parallel. Both about the importance of a trustworthy foundation, just different domains.
Precisely. And it all tied back to the official RSC 2025 theme, many voices, one community.
Okay.
The underlying message felt very much about trust, integrity, and resilience in cybersecurity.
So bringing this all together then, what are the key takeaways for someone listening?
Well, I think first, Genians is clearly making a strong play to be a leader in this AI-driven, zero-trust space.
Okay.
Their big differentiator seems to be this emphasis on trusted data powered by their device platform intelligence, the DPI.
Right, that 20 years of intelligence gathering.
Exactly. Second, that partnership with Raman highlights a really important trend. The convergence of networking and security, especially for those complex industrial or uncarpeted environments.
Yeah, that IT-OT convergence is huge.
It really is. And third, looking at RSAC more broadly, the whole conference underscored just how fundamental trust is. Trust in systems, trust in data, trust in people, especially as AI becomes more and more pervasive.
Trust seems to be the connective tissue for everything right now.
It really does.
Okay, so that leads us to a final thought for you, listening. With all this focus on trusted data being essential for AI and security, what steps can you actually take? How can you better understand the integrity, the context of the data your own organization uses for security decisions?
Yeah, that's the practical question, isn't it?
And maybe, how might a platform like Genians DPI, with its focus on deep device context, offer a different way to look at your own security posture? A new lens on the trustworthiness of your network insights.
It really feels like we're just scratching the surface of this intersection between AI, practical security, and that core element of trust. Lots to think about.